Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got from Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the Nintendo Switch and on PC. And that's the fact that Capcom went ahead and confirmed what are we going to be getting with this brand new Monster Hunter Stories 2 update number 3 that is set to drop on September 2nd. Remember that according to the roadmap, on September 2nd we're supposed to be getting a couple of new updates, and then later that same month a second batch of updates. This will be the next to the final batch of updates we're expecting to see at the very least that's been just fully showcased on the roadmap so far. But according to the brand new trailer with the information that they provided us with, they're saying that on September 2nd we're going to be getting 3 brand new monsters: Soul Seer Mitsuzune, Elder Frost Gammoth, and Orochi Kirin. We've known for a little bit of while now that these monsters were going to be added, but now we know specifically that they're set to drop on September 2nd, and we're also set to expect as well a couple of brand new event quests that are going to be added into the game as well. Obviously these are all endgame related, so you need to have already beaten the game and essentially have hard mode unlocked. These are going to be pretty much the prerequisite if you will, to have full access to these downloadable event quests. Starting with the very first co-op 8-star explorable quest is called Water Eggs. Presumably these egg quests are not going to be necessarily anything different than the ones that we got for Astalos and Glavelos, where the very first set of quests that we got that day that they dropped were essentially just egg quests for you to be able to go ahead and pick up a couple of eggs and essentially get your little monster started. So this co-op 8-star explorable Water Eggs quest presumably is for Soul Seer Mitsuzune. The second quest is another co-op 8-star explorable quest called Ice Eggs, and presumably of course this will be for Elder Frost Gammoth. Now the interesting part is that for Orochi Kirin there not necessarily seems to be a very specific quest for him, so it says that there's going to be a sub-quest with an 8-star which is called Ice Phantom. Presumably that would just be the quest that you actually fight him on, but it doesn't actually say like if that's going to be just a straight up egg quest. So maybe for him they're actually going to change things up a little bit and they make you fight him in order to be able to get an egg, but that's not something that they actually very clearly specify. The last and final quest we're going to be getting on September 2nd is a delivery 4-star special quest that's called Bag Me Some Bugs. So you're going to be able to actually take this one without having unlocked endgame related content so far, which is usually how delivery and event quests go for quests that aren't necessarily tied to specific monsters. So for recap, on September 2nd we're going to be getting Soul Seer Mitsuzune, Elder Frost Gammoth, and Orochi Kirin as new monsters. We're also going to be getting 2 co-op 8 explorable quests. One is called Water Eggs, the other one is called Ice Eggs, and of course the sub-quest which is an 8-star called Ice Phantom, which presumably will be the one for Orochi Kirin, and of course a delivery quest which is a special quest called Bag Me Some Bugs. And pretty much just like last month, that's not the end of this whole story. On that same trailer, Capcom also confirms that on September 16th, we're going to be getting the second wave of event quests that are tied specifically to the 3 monsters that are being added, and also pretty much the second half of the event quest for this month. And what we're looking at here is 1 explorable quest, 2 turn quests, 2 slay quests, 2 sub quests, and 1 special delivery quest. Right out of the gate, the first one is a co-op 8-star explorable quest called Fated for Den. So this one is most likely going to be more eggs for pretty much the monsters that were just added in. The next 2 quests are turn-based quests which are co-op, again enabled, so you can actually do these with friends. The first one is for a Mitsuzune, and then the second co-op 8-star quest, which is another turn quest, is also for a Gammoth. Now do keep in mind that these are pretty much for the basic versions of those monsters, not the brand new added additions that we're going to be talking about in just a second, because those are actually co-op 9-star slay quest. The first one is Soul Seer Mitsuzune, and the second one is a co-op 9-star slay quest for Elder Frost Gammoth. This is something that again they did with Glavelos and Astalos. They pretty much made you fight like the normal versions and then they like the deviant versions as well. Moving on to the next 2 sub-quests, the first one is an 8-star called Heavenly Eye, and the other one is called the sub-quest 8-star Unconquerable Mountain. They don't actually tell you what type of monsters you're going to be fighting in those, but because again they're 8-star quests, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if they're pretty high challenging event quests, which again are pretty much tailored specifically for you to be able to get some good rewards. And the last quest that they're going to be adding on September 16th is a delivery 8-star quest, which is also tied to special, and it's called Pluck Me Some Shrooms. So all in all, what we're looking at here is 1 delivery quest, 1 co-op explorable quest for eggs, yet again, a couple of basic turn-based co-op quests for low-level monsters, then a couple of deviants, and a couple of sub-quests which don't necessarily actually tell you what type of monsters you're going to be fighting in those very specific scenarios. But again, like I mentioned before, usually this is all game related stuff, so they're pretty much going to put up a little bit of a challenge for sure. So all in all, when you start looking at it as a whole picture, on September 2nd we're getting 4 quests, and on September 16th we're getting 8 quests. So that's a total of 12 quests being added into the game, and essentially 3 new monsters, all for just the month of September. But like I mentioned at the top of the video, we should be able to expect a couple of brand new updates at the end of September, adding Dread King Rathalos and Molten Tigrex, and of course a high difficulty quest with Kovi Taroth, which for some reason people keep saying in the comments that I'm actually saying COVID, which I'm not. It doesn't even sound like that, but it is what it is. So presumably what we are looking at here is probably something along the lines of over 20 event quests being added just on the month of September alone for Monster Hunter Stories 2, which again seems like a pretty substantial, meaty roadmap that this game has definitely been getting. That's not even to mention, of course, that in October we are expecting another high difficulty co-op quest, which of course is going to be Fatalis, and most likely at the end of October we're also going to be getting that Silver Rathalos and the Gold Rathian as well. Interestingly enough, when you actually take a look at the roadmap itself actually hasn't changed at all. It's been pretty much that same roadmap that they provided us with, I believe back in June, the very first time that we looked at it, and it hasn't necessarily changed at all since then. I believe we actually got to see it at the end of June, because I know the game released on July 9th. So it was one of those things where like we kind of knew what the roadmap was before the game even launched. And even back then, of course, one of the biggest like praises towards the game was the fact that it was going to be getting substantial amounts of DLC. And we're pretty much at the middle of that roadmap right now, with Soulseer Mitsuzune, Elder Frost Gameth, and Orochi Kirin dropping pretty much at the beginning of this month, September that is. And of course, like I mentioned before, Dread King Rathalos and Molten Tigrex should be dropping very soon right after that. Which again, it does seem to be like almost on a weekly basis, they're dropping 4 to 8 quests pretty much right away next to each other. This is something that, again, as someone who plays Monster Hunter Rise, I wish we had that level of content, even if it's just quests adding in stuff like meaningless little challenges and stuff like that, just things that actually just to pad out the quest board or something along those lines. Even that kind of stuff would be fine, even if it has some like minimal rewards. Again, stuff that like a lot of people don't necessarily care about, but just anything along those lines. But like I've been covering with Monster Hunter Rise, just that whole, event quest, 1 event quest per week, and even the rewards for that event quest, or lack of rewards for that matter, because 2 weeks ago the event quest actually didn't give us any rewards, and then we had Akuma the following week. So it was one of those things where like now this week we're hoping actually that Monster Hunter Rise kind of get back on track, and we're hoping that we actually get a decent reward, since 2 weeks ago we pretty much got nothing. But hopefully you guys found this informational. I know a lot of people are still enjoying Monster Hunter Stories 2. I still see plenty of praise on it on Twitter and social media, so I know people are starting to discover this game that didn't necessarily pay attention to it when it dropped back in July. If you did find this informational, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!